You could think about meditation as the joining of physical posture with a mental posture. So I've mentioned you're inviting your spine into uprightness. And you're holding your body in a way kind of in neutral, so that energy can circulate naturally. And then the mental posture, I think, at least in this school, this Zen school that I was brought up in, you could summarize as allowing. There's different forms or expressions of allowing. It's just stillness. Or, sometimes you hear a word like non-reactivity. You're allowing and not reacting. Or non-interference. Or non-identification. Identification is something like you're grasping it for yourself, as yourself. So don't do that. Allow it just to be. And this phrase that I've used as the title or theme of this day-long that we're doing together, just now is enough. Just now is enough is another way of expressing this basic allowing. I'm intrigued by the word satisfaction. The Latin word satis means enough. And faction is from the Latin verb facere, which means to make. So to satisfy means to make something be enough. When you let something be enough, or when you view something as enough, then you're satisfied. And when you view something as not enough, then you're dissatisfied. It gets very subtle, you might feel like that's enough, but not quite. You can create dissatisfaction on every level of your experience if it's just not quite right, if you need to still tweak it. Now in sitting, this happens all the time. You feel some discomfort and then it's not quite right. Now, this problem of noticing the discomfort of your body in your still sitting is like it just pushes you right to that edge every time. It's like you might find it very annoying, but it's right there is this edge of either being satisfied with what's happening right now or dissatisfied. That's why the sitting, even though it's quite boring, it's powerful. It puts you at this edge. Whether you like it or not, it's going to happen. I think our society, our culture is a dissatisfaction machine. Now, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit. Like I'll just say it as a kind of provocation or something. You know, our economy, our capitalist economy, is like it has to grow. If it doesn't grow, it's not working. I mean, it's a structural feature of how we do business, is that there needs to be growth. If there's no growth, there won't be investment. If there's no investment, then things sort of go into recession. If we all said like, well, it's enough, right? Then the economy kind of stops, and we all have a big problem. In technology, there's always this edge of needing to improve and to innovate. It's like it's implicit, like we want things to be better. What is that wanting it to be better? It's some kind of like it's not good enough the way it is right now. An advertisement, it's like advertisement is basically make you aware of needs you didn't know you had. Right? It's like, oh, I didn't know I needed that, but now that I saw it exists, like I want it. Strange. Or fashion is really phenomenal. Like the clothes you wore 2 years ago are not cool anymore. I mean, I know you all have your own relationship to that, more or less, right? But it's funny, it's like the clothes I wear right now, these robes, like they've been the same for hundreds of years. It's a relief. Like I don't have to think about it. It's just I could just put that stuff on. It's fine. It's not measured in terms of whether it's cool enough or not. Of course, it creeps in, Is it made out of cotton or is it made out of silk? Now, I'm not trying to describe this as sort of like the society or the culture is evil and we kind of fall victim to this stuff. It's interesting. It's the society or our culture actually just takes aspects of what is part of our human nature and it's just turning it into a framework and a structure. But if you're not aware of this dynamic when you're just living it because that's just how it is, right? Then these structures or frameworks are actually shaping your mind. So we want to be aware of like this dynamic of how dissatisfaction is generated or manufactured sometimes, like with advertising. Now, yeah, there you have like the core of Buddhist teaching. There's all these different forms of Buddhism, and yeah, it matters, some expression, some style will suit you better than another style, So this is a Zen style and there's another style. But the core of it is basically something like you have experience, like I'm sitting here with you talking and you sit here with me listening right now, and we hear the wind and the trees. And there's sound, like I just said, and color and our body sensations. So you have experience, the full display. And then you have how you relate to that experience. And so in this theme that I'm exploring with you right now, it's like you can treat this experience that's happening right now as enough or not enough. Or in Buddhist terms, you can grasp it. You want more of it, or you want it to last, or you want it to be even fuller. Or you can resist it. Like you don't want it. You want to get away from it. You want to get out. You want to change it, tweak it. There's experience as it is, and then there is the way you relate to that experience. I think our default, I don't know how it is for you, I don't know you well enough, but generally speaking, human beings get sucked into the idea that they need to change their experience. Like, I need to do this differently, or I need to improve this, or this is not good enough. And so I want to change my experience. Well, sometimes that's possible, but sometimes it just isn't possible. Right? You could catch a virus and then have some sort of infection and disease unfolding. And the thing with viruses is there's not much you can do. You can go to the doctor and the doctor will say, well, if it was bacterial, I could give you antibiotics, but because it's viral, well, not much I can do. Okay. So what do? You just wait it out. So you can't do much about that discomfort or this unpleasantness or this, pain. So what remains is that you can change your relationship to it. This is the core of what Buddhism is about. Yes, sometimes we can do something about our experience, but we're looking at the moments and situations where we can't do anything about it. And then the only recourse we have is to examine our relationship with the experience. Are we grasping? Are we resisting? Right? So this is where, you see the power of a phrase like "just now is enough," where it can turn. You can, of course, to say "just now is enough" is almost offensive, right? Because, well, maybe right now it's true that it's just now is enough, but in so many cases it's not. So when you have an intervention like "just now is enough," what immediately comes up? No, it's not. I'm not well in this way or that way, and so it's not. We're not trying to negate that. We're trying to support a new relationship with it. As I was trying to collaborate with Dharma Gates on, how a day like this could look like and so forth, I started to understand that Dharma Gates is trying to support young adults with the questions that tend to arise at this age, in your 20s and 30s and so forth. And I think they're listing something like vocation and relationship and meaning, and how to establish a path, how to, settle into a practice. And, I looked at it and I thought, oh yeah, that makes sense. And, well, my second thought was, well, questions in those areas they don't go away, really. What do you think, Michael? They go away? Do you ever you stop wondering about your vocation and your relationship? Maybe something shifts. Like maybe you become more I don't know, accustomed to the fact that there are no final answers or something. I do remember, like I was in a real crisis when I was 25, and things felt very pressing at the time. And like what I just said, well, maybe the questions don't really go away, but maybe because I found a path, they're not as pressing. They don't shake me in the same way. Or maybe another way of saying is like I've discovered that most things end up actually being workable. This crisis that I just pointed to briefly is like I don't need to go into that, but it's like there were moments in my life that felt like they were not workable. Now I don't know your situation, no, not yet. But let me just try out a few situations, sort of like as a kind of example. And you can read your own experience into it, or contrast your experience with it, or recognize a friend or something. You know, there's maybe you have the right job. What I mean by that is like a job that gives you income, and you know that maybe makes your parents proud, or that fit with a cultural expectation of like what you should be doing, or what, you know, something like that. But then you feel some kind of hollowness inside of your activity. It's like, I'm doing it. It seems to be like the right thing, but what am I really doing? It's like, what is this for? I'm not saying all of you experience that, but there are people who feel that, right? Like I'm just giving you one example. So it's like satisfaction and dissatisfaction don't come like in neatly separated. It's like you could be sort of satisfied, but underneath it, there's just this like dissatisfaction. It's not quite right. It's right, but not quite, you know, like that. Or someone talked to me just yesterday. It's like you look something up on your phone, and you're like, I don't know, the phone is so funny. It's like you go in there and you do something, and then somehow you end up in some social media feed, and you see someone who is like a friend of a friend, and is actually not really part of your social circle, but and lives quite far away, but here they're posting something, you know, exciting, and you're, and not that you want to, but somehow you start comparing yourself to it, this, whatever is on display there. And it's like, and just by the sheer comparison, like what you're doing feels sort of flat or not right, or I wish I was doing this and not this. And, you know, it's funny that we now live in a time and age where people celebrate how connected we are, but we're so connected that our comparative mind can now reach, hundreds of miles away to situations that basically have nothing to do with us, and we end up like our comparative mind gets activated. Again, maybe that's not your problem, but if you read the news, it's like teenagers become suicidal over this stuff. It's amazing. For some reason, this display of this person and what they're doing triggers in me that I'm not good enough, or that what I'm doing is like subpar, or that I need to, it's not enough. It's like I need to improve. I need to become, maybe I should live a more adventurous life, or get more education to reach this level of, I don't know, Or you're in a relationship and you've been together with someone for, I don't know, 2 years, 4 years, 1 year, and and it feels like you're settling into something, and it's fine. it's good. It's a good relationship, it's fine. But you don't know, like, should I settle for this? Is this good enough? Do I need to look for other options? Or if I don't settle for this, and then I do look for other options, and then it's not going to work, that something better comes along, then will I regret it? It happens, I know people who regret having let go of a relationship, or having aborted a child, or Now, what ties these examples together? I want to get to something structural with you. It's like, what ties these examples together? And what I would say is, like, the phrase I want to, or the concept I want to try out is anxious becoming. So what ties them together is that somehow our lives can get organized around a future, a hopefully better future. This is the becoming part. You want to become something. And what makes it anxious is that the future inevitably is uncertain. We do not know the future. Never. And because it's not known, it's uncertain, right? I don't have to explain that more. Now, many people talk about anxiety these days and are recognizing that, some people say it's almost a kind of epidemic, more and more people feel anxious a lot of the time. I have strong feelings about this. I don't doubt that people feel anxious, but I really don't like that it gets pathologized. I really don't like that it's treated as a kind of disorder or disease. Now, when I say that, I'm not trying to minimize it. Like, it's, when you feel it, it's very deep, and it's deeply uncomfortable, and you struggle with it and so forth. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about it as if it means that there's something wrong with you. I view anxiety as an expression of uncertainty. Whenever there's something uncertain, you're prone to feel some anxiety. I just took an exam as a wilderness first responder, and just because they're putting on an exam, I'm like, oh, I feel a little anxiety. Like, will I pass the exam? I mean, it's very unlikely I'm not going to pass the exam, but it's like I'm put on the spot, so I feel something. You know what I mean? It's just happens, right? But if you treat this as a disorder, like maybe you are this implies that you shouldn't feel this. Okay, now I don't know. Maybe there is objectively more uncertainty in our world than there was 50 years ago, and so therefore more people feel anxiety. I don't know. I mean, there's some indicators, you know. Like if we have a world in which climate change is something to be concerned about, then 50 years ago people didn't think about climate change. They thought about the weather. Now it's like, well, will the planet become uninhabitable? Just a different level of uncertainty. So maybe there's some objective dimension. But then there's also a subjective dimension. And the subjective dimension is, like I tried to indicate before, it's your relationship to your experience. How much need you have to try to control the future? Know and control the future. How relaxed you are with not knowing it. This is the territory of how you're relating to it. So here, just now is enough comes in. Because the intervention is something like shifting your orientation from the future, what will I become, or what do I want to become, or what should I become, those kinds of questions. Or is this the right move, or is this the right partner, and so forth. This can shift into what's happening now. You've all heard like this, like to be in the present moment, and it's become such a cliche. I sometimes want to ask people, why is it important to be in the present moment? Like, what is important about that? Why are you trying to do that? And then I know some people just don't know. Like, I don't know. Maybe you know. I hope you know. Well, because the present is not uncertain. Open your eyes. It's like this is what's going on right now. It's complex, but it's not complicated. We're sitting here. We're breathing. We're clothed. I'm glad. There's not like a fundamental problem right now with our existence. Like we're breathing. We have some tea. It's good enough. So if you come back to the present, you can actually find out every time that you're okay. Like you might disagree. It's like when you have anxious feelings, you're not okay. Well, is it killing you? Are you not breathing? Are you about to die? No. Like, oh, what you're experiencing is an intense feeling. All right. Again, I'm not minimizing it. It's real. It's intense, but it's also just that. It's not a life emergency. Now, something I want to just direct your attention to. When you speak about the now, the present, it's like just the words make it sound like, oh, it's just this tiny little moment. It's like, oh, when you go to the present, it's already gone, because now we're like, where did it go? What is the present? You have to view the present as a here, as a space. Maybe you're already doing that. When you come to the present, you're coming to the space of now. So maybe we need to change the phrase and call it just here now. Just here now is enough. In the space you come to is not a small space. The space you come to is not like, oh, this thing in here myself. The space you come to is your whole experiential field. That's what's now. It includes, what you're looking at and what you're hearing. And it also includes your internality, but it also includes what we think of as external. That's what's now. That's what has the ability to kind of ground you in something tangible and not uncertain. Yeah? Now, maybe what is so weird about a phrase or mental posture like just now is enough that you could have all kinds of understandable objections. You might say like, yeah, but there's many problems in the world and they should be solved, or we should do something about it. And just now is enough sounds like some kind of passive, maybe even complacent acceptance of things. Like Buddhism gets this kind of critique all the time. And maybe rightfully so for some of its expressions. But it sort of misses the point, and let me say how I mean that. It's like you want to, your mental posture, it's like an attitude, an orientation is like you're starting from here. Not here as opposed to there, but a here that includes the there, like all this is included. You're coming back to that, right? And instead of asking, it's like, where do I want to go? Like, what is the right thing for me to do? Or what is like, you're appreciating what's here. Like I said, I'm breathing, I'm clothed, I'm okay, I'm functioning. That's what's here. And then you kind of, you want to ask what wants to happen next. What is a next step that wants to unfold? So let me land on that word, unfolding. So rather than anxious becoming, we're not just like, oh, nothing needs to happen. It's like we want to unfold the present into the next step. You're participating in that. I call that to carry the present into the present. Because you're not carrying it into the future. You're carrying it into the present. If you want to take 3 steps ahead, you can't do that because the present only allows you to take the next step that lands in the present. Right? If I speak words one after another, I can only speak the next word in the next sentence. I can't anyway. It's not possible. So if you apply it back to these kinds of examples that I gave, it's like if you have the right job, right, it's sort of right, but it's not quite right, and so forth, you might think, well, what is it that I should be doing, or what is the job that I really want, or so now you're thinking ahead. That may not be a conscious decision, it just happens. It's what the mind does. And you imagine yourself, right, as someone else in some other situation. And it causes anxiety because it might cause anxiety because or a feeling of like, oh, how do I get there? What do I... An unfolding that comes out of a response to what is happening is more asking like, so what am I experiencing right now? You start with appreciation, what the job is giving you, how it's supporting you, how it's giving you livelihood and a place in society and so forth. and a roof over your head. And then there's a kind of exploration of like, but what else would I like to do? It's like, how else would I like to use my skills or be utilized? And as you, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to immediately quit or, talk to your boss or change them. You're just exploring. And as you're exploring what is missing, steps suggest themselves. It always happens. The question is more like, do you have the courage to take those steps? Are you willing to experiment with your situation? Like do something different, add something, subtract something, do more of one thing. So there is movement, but it's unfolding from this here, which is basically treated as it's already enough, but now maybe another step could happen. And you need to be, it's almost like you need to be willing to be okay with just taking one step. That also has to be enough for now. I have to be satisfied with just saying one more word, not like, or in this example of how you get drawn into comparative mind, right? It's like, what if you came back to here? What's happening here right now? Not the comparison with someone over there hundreds of miles away, or my friend. And no, it's just like, what's happening here? What am I doing right now? And then land with that, stay with that. If there is dissatisfaction with what you're doing, then examine that. Probably the first thing you find out is that you want to put your phone away. Oh yeah, well, if that caused the dissatisfaction, you just put it away. One of the things that sort of, how can I say this? They disturb me about our time is that our screens hold so many possibilities that implicitly seem better than this boring moment that we're in. I mean, boring in comparison. Sorry to speak like this because, I don't feel a whole lot older than you are, but I am 20 years older at least. And I grew up in the 70s and I didn't have a computer and I didn't have a phone, and I went to school and I took notes with my hand. And so for me, like watching what's happening, like how classrooms are, or how, my son is growing up now and having something on the screen and videos that like glue his attention in a way that is obviously unhealthy, right? It's like, I can see it, like, because he's in a bad mood afterwards. It's disturbing. It's almost distressing. Like, what are we doing to ourselves? I'm doing it to myself. I'm not different from you. I'm an addict. But there is an intervention that I've learned through practice, which is like, if I notice it, I can come back to here and I can put this aside and I can let my senses be present in this experiential field and let that. And if there is boredom, then I can ask myself, like, so what do I actually want right now? Like, I think we don't even come to that question anymore because there's always something that can fill the void or the boredom or that which wants excitement. All right, so here we are sitting, doing this practice of arriving or allowing ourselves to arrive here in this wide field of here. And all sorts of things come up there. Can you allow that? One thing I want to encourage you in your view of what meditation is about is like, it's not about making you into something better, calmer, more centered, psychologically more stable. It may do that as a side effect. But if you are using meditation to go somewhere, you are basically, even with your meditation, inflicting this view of just now is not enough on your life. Well, I'm going to use meditation to become this person or improve that about my life. It's not going to work. Or you're really complicating your journey. I know that that's the motivation. It's almost weird to say that, because if it's not going to do anything, then why should you engage in it? But it is doing something. If you take this, what you want to become with it, if you take that away, then what it is doing, it is landing you here. And is landing you here in this not uncertain present. And when it lands you here, it also lands you in yourself. Like if you accept or say this here is good enough, then this includes you. Like you're good enough. You're just fine. You want to evolve, that's fine. Let it evolve. Let it unfold. But not with a comparative mind, like some future version of yourself is going to be better than this version. It's going to be different. We know that. So let this sitting and breathing and sensing your body, let it land you here. You're not doing this for something else. Like when we say later, when we eat oryoki, we're not practicing something to be better with this later. No, we're just doing it. We're just doing this meal. And you can notice yourself in that. All right. Let's let that be enough. Thank you for your attention.